My Adventures with Superman is back, and I gotta say, I'm highly impressed.
Oh, it's great. It's great, dude.
For the people that didn't know, starting out in season 1, I wasn't that big of a fan of My Adventures with Superman. I thought the art style was weird for the character. I thought the stories at first were just middling, if not bad. I didn't really like the way they were using certain relationships like Jimmy and Superman, or Lois not being a full-time reporter, just being an intern like the rest of the people. It took some time for me to get used to, I'm not gonna lie, but by episode 6 or 7 of season 1, I was kind of liking the show, even though they did go towards that evil Superman route, and they're still kind of going towards that route, using him as a threat of like what humans don't know. But this was a good start to a season. I like that they didn't start straight from the season 1 finale. They let time pass just a little bit. Clark and Lois have moved on in their relationship, and they're forming a real bond with each other. I never disliked their relationship in the first season, really. I always thought that was the biggest thing they had going for it, was their dynamic with Clark and Lois. Their relationship was always been great to me, and here it's just getting better and better. We're building on things in Superman's mythos, from the Fortress of Solitude and introducing Supergirl. In the first season, I wasn't a big fan of how Lex Luthor was introduced. It was more like a nudge of, this is Alex, he works for Ivo, who is Parasite, which I also didn't like. I'm just saying a lot of things I don't like right now. But now, to him growing into that persona of Lex, just getting rid of that Alex name and becoming a scientist for Amanda Waller, who, side note, is very villainous in the second season. She's really cool to see as just a villain, straight up villain. She was giving herself like positive villainous affirmations in like the second episode, which is my favorite out of the two that they premiered, and it was interesting to say the least. Yeah, but Alex is growing into Lex, a character that is going to oppose Superman in every single way. Now, I don't know how they're going to get straight to the hate factor, or maybe it's a pure science factor, or maybe it's just we don't want aliens here, but they have an angle here now that I can kind of respect and like, and see where they're going with it. There's still a growing threat in the background, like his dad, when he finally gets to meet him and he's speaking English, which is, you know, it took a long time for him to learn the language, I guess. That's a little plotty, but I'll excuse it because it's whatever. There was a villain that destroyed Krypton. He never said who or what it was, and we can only speculate if it was Darkseid, if it was General Zod, if it was any number of people. But it seems like Brainiac was a part of Krypton's heritage and culture, so it could have been him, it could have not. But right now, Brainiac is on our side for the time being. But as we all know, he'll eventually go down that dark side and be a villain towards Superman and the Earth. I wasn't a big fan of Task Force X being a big villain in the first season, along with Deathstroke, because I just don't see those characters as big Superman villain threats. But now, seeing that they're endangering all of humanity, trying to use them to see if they can build any weakness towards Superman, it's just kind of interesting to see in that aspect. The dynamics between Lois and her father and Clark, it's going to be interesting to see in this season. Also, another thing I'm interested in seeing is how fastly Jimmy will lose his money. I thought he was going to lose it in the first episode, because he spent like $2 million the first episode, but he didn't keep that pace, so he spent $1 million in episode 2, and now he's down to like 3.7 million, I believe. And this won't be Clark's last time seeing Krypton, because they did show a little bumper of him experiencing Krypton in a different way, and we never saw that in episode 1. So I believe once he finds Kara's gonna have a working ship, and maybe that's how he can see Krypton one more time. And another thing, I want to see how Kara is gonna be in this series, because it seems like she'll be the same age as Clark. She might have been raised on Earth like Clark, or she could have been a lone wolf and never really got that mom and pa treatment that Clark did. I also wasn't a big fan of the suit in season 1. It's the same suit, but I think I've grown more of a liking to it just simply because of the colors. It's still shaded a little bit weirdly, but I'm starting to like that shading. Maybe it's because of the new suit we got for James Gunn Superman with the collar, which I'm not a big fan of. So now seeing this suit with no collar, it just makes me really appreciate just a more classic Superman suit. The suit that James Gunn showed us is an okay suit, but this suit's just a little bit better than that. There are still suits that are much better than these two, but I'm starting to appreciate this suit just a little bit more. That logo though, I still don't mess with it crazy. It's still kind of weird to me. And I also like how they're introducing Atomic Skull. He's a villain that was made by Amanda Waller for Task Force X, and he seems like he'll be an actual foe for Superman this season, a person that can go head to head with him. We don't really have a lot of Atomic Skull appearances over in DC animation wise, or even live action wise, so it's cool to see him get some real action here here in season 2 of My Adventures with Superman. And one more thing I have to talk about, because I did hate on this show crazy, 3 videos. So I have to say one more thing that I hated from season 1 that I now actually, it's the Kryptonite. The Kryptonite in season 1, it was like weird to me. This has never been how Kryptonite really acted. It gave him like a disease, like Kryptonite was growing from him, and I didn't really like that first season, but now it's grown on me. I think this show is just really a grower for me. It's not a shower, it's a grower, definitely.
Pause.
I like that everything from Krypton is poisoned by Kryptonite. It's not a thing you see in most adaptations of Superman, that things from Krypton can be damaged by Kryptonite, but it does make sense here, and I'm glad they made that change and distinction towards the source material. I want to see how they're gonna remake Clark's mythos in this iteration of Superman, because it seems like this show might go into a season 3, 4, maybe even 5. They have said that there are plans for those seasons coming up, but they don't know if they'll get renewed for that as of now. Plus, it brings in the opportunity of introducing new characters and heroes, which they said they haven't really focused on as much, but we know it's DC. They will focus on it if this is a successful universe, which right now it's turning out to be pretty successful. The fans love it, the critics love it. It's an interesting show to say the least. The art style is still something, I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm still getting used to. It's interesting to see Clark in this type of style, the anime style, or people say it's Invincible, but I don't see a lot of Invincible in it. It's more anime inspired to me than anything. So yeah, that was my little quick freestyle thoughts about My Adventures with Superman season 2, the premiere. If you want more videos down the line about the season, because it's coming on every week like TV shows should, just tell me in the comments below if you want to see more of these reactionary videos or just review videos when the new episode drops, because I'll be watching every week. I was hate watching in the beginning of season 1, then by the latter half I was actually pretty interested in it, because I do love the character of Superman, so I will watch most of anything that Superman is in. Again, leave a like if you enjoyed, tell me what you thought about the premiere down below, follow my socials, have a good day.